Hi guys, welcome back to TedRedwood Gaming. I'm Ed, and today is Season 4, Episode 1 of my FC OS save on Football Manager 2018. Last episode, you should go see it if you haven't already, because this is obviously spoiler heavy. Another spoiler, I'm on my new laptop. You probably won't see a difference now, but you will in a few minutes, because I should be doing everything in 3D in the game. We're on this page because we're actually a few games into the season already, so we're still in the Jupiler League. As you know, there's the spoiler. This is my 4th season. This series can come out a little slower than the previous ones, maybe 2 or 3 videos a week while I prepare for my project save, which hopefully is coming soon. I've started working on it today. It's a lot of work, so yeah, horrible. But yeah, here we are. So we played a few games. We're up to the first round of the KNVB Becker to see if we can do a cup run. Let's go for the transfers first, and then we'll see how we're doing in the league. So we look at the transfer history. It's quite active. Load of loans out to RBC, our feeder club or affiliate club, and then we've sold. Well, Elton, Kuzi, and Glenn Bill have gone on free transfers. The big out was Neil Montgomery. He's gone to Club Bruges, 1.3 million. We're also going to get a friendly and 30% of the profit from the next sale. So he was the Northern Irish lad who came in and didn't really get a huge amount of chances last season. 5 goals in 21, 1 assist. So not great, but he was playing back up to Sean Kelly, so I'm not really that surprised. If we look at the ins, that's where a lot of the excitement is happening. So we've gone very Northern Irish heavy again. I don't think we've signed any Portuguese players this summer, which is unfortunate. But let's go top to bottom quickly. So all these guys are regens. So Verhoeven is just a winger who could be quite good. 2-star current, 4.5-star potential. So on either side. Mohamed Ate, you know. Oh, also I've got face packs and stuff now. So there's Mohamed Ate in all his glory. He's quite a handsome lad, isn't he? You've met him. He's inconsistent most of the season, but that's fine. We've got Ronan Casey on a free from Blackburn, who is a fullback who can play either side. He signed on for a couple of years. All these guys, standard sort of couple of years, and then extensions based on promotion if we want to trigger it. So he's got some good potential. He's 18, so that will work quite nicely there. We brought this guy in on the recommendation of an agent, as per usual. 24k for Jose Manuel Alarte. I think he's pretty good, actually. 21-year-old Spanish player. He's played a decent amount in the second division, or in the technically third, fourth division, whatever, in Spain, and then a few games last season. But he played a decent amount, and 24k for these stats, I think it's actually quite good. So I'm playing him as a defensive midfielder on defence. So we've had a slight formation tweak, but the back four and the midfield is exactly the same as it was. So yeah, he's playing a sort of defensive mid role, but he's quite creative. So he's sort of bringing both of that to the board at the moment. I mean, he tries long range passes, stuff like that. I really like him so far. Hopefully you guys will as well. I'm a big fan. He's obviously partnering backboard as it stands. We've signed a few players. Oh, this guy came in and we released him immediately. We signed a few players on freeze who are just there to sort of fill just in case. Maybe fulfill some potential. This isn't one of them. Darren Kane, he comes in from Institute, so same as Sean Kelly. Another Northern Irish player who's under 21 level. He's a key player. We're sort of playing around with him, Sean Kelly and Marta from last season. We've still got a couple other strikers floating around as well, like Haganars, and there's another signing you'll see in a minute. They're all much of a muchness. They all want to be advanced forwards. So that's painful, but he comes in on a free, 3.5-star current, 5-star potential. Max Atkin is an English centre-back with some pretty average stats at 19. Comes in from Southampton, but he's got some okay potential. And I think he could fulfil that. And at 140 a week for a year, and then with extensions, you can't really go wrong. Connor Harrison, another Northern Irish player, comes in from Ballymena on a free. Finishing 14, heading 12, 2-star current, 5-star potential, rotation. So he's the sort of, well, he's actually 6th choice, I think. But he comes in. Sam Taylor, who plays on the right wing, comes in from Man United. He's quite well-rounded. He's 18, so he needs to start developing. But again, you shove 3 or 4 on every single stat, and he looks really good. So I'm hoping he can do that here. Made 1 sub-appearance so far. He probably won't get in the team much, but we'll see. Yep, Randrup is another one of these. We signed him up because they were hanging around in the free transfers bit. He's on for 2 years on 160 a week, so that's not bad. But he's Danish, 20 years old, so he's a bit older. Probably won't make it, but a fairly good utility option. We've got Louis Williams. I'm going to call him Louis Williams. Very much the same as Sam Taylor on the right. He's a left winger. Comes in from Man United on a free. Good pace. Again, you add a few stats on, and he's awesome. And he's 18, so that's positive. It's turning 19 very shortly, admittedly. I'm going to cover this one last, Apai, the last one we paid money for. Bobby McKee comes in on a free, which rhymes. Another one from Ballymena. He's made a load of appearances in his career already, as you can see, and he's done pretty well. He's not really had a play so far on team. He's come as a sub once, but he's 3-star current, 4.5-star potential. You look at those stats, he looks a lot like Backboard. There's a couple that aren't as good, like first touch and tackling, but he's potentially the next backboard, so we might even face backboard out this season if he doesn't perform. We'll find out in a minute about that, because obviously we played a few games. The final freebie is just this striker who's terrible, so he's gone into the reserves. I was hoping to loan him out to one of the feeder clubs to try and improve them, but he's not fancying it. This is our last signing, cost 150k, so our record signing. So we spent 210 this window, this guy is most of it. So meet Ifenildo Apai, who is a left back. I know we've already got a load of good left backs, and he wants to be a defensive fullback, which we don't play. I am training him as a winger, because I look at some of those stats, and I think there's a bit of Gareth Bale about him, to be honest. So he's 20 years old, so a bit older, which is a shame. But yeah, if you look at the stats that he needs to be a winger, and then tackling is there as well with work rate and a bit of technique, I think he could do quite well. So he is training there. He's had a couple of games, and minor spoiler, he's started one, come on in 4. 1 goal, 1 assist, 7. He did score a last-minute winner for us, so far so good. I quite like him, so let's see how that goes. So that's all the transfers. No extra news in regards to, I mean, there's a couple of staff movements, but it's nothing major. We've got a new assistant manager. But let's have a look at the table. No, your eyes do not deceive you. I promise I'm not being cheating. It's weird when you come into the game 8 seasons in, or 8 games into the season, sorry, and we're top. I can't really explain it. We've just been really good. 7 wins, 1 defeat. It's almost as if playing all those young players for most of the last season has actually paid off. Who would have thought? Yeah, we're bossing it. We've won 7, we've lost 1. The first period starts 2 games into the season, as you may remember. And unfortunately, we did lose our first game in the 3rd game of the season, so we're not maxing out on points in period 1. But we are top, and young Ajax, who are joint, can't win the period anyway. So we've got 3 games there to secure our playoff spot in the first period. The way it's going, it might be a title charge. Let's have a look at some of the results. I mean, the friendlies are all great. We play tiny teams, so it doesn't matter. This Fortuna game is where Apai, the winger, came on. So Ate and Apai, which is interesting. Our 2 left wingers, really. Ate's been injured a lot, as is tradition. He came on and scored a last-minute winner. I am going to click into this game. It's 4-3. And see how I've not tested how long it takes to do anything on this just yet. So this could be interesting. I've done a little bit of testing with recording in 3D, and it's so far so good. But obviously nothing's really set up to be in 3D because I've never had the chance to do it. So what I'm going to do is set up now. This is how I used to play 3D when I had the option. Camera height, camera zoom. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I don't know if this is good. Maybe we're going sideline. But let's just see how this goes. So Vasquez, thrown on the left, gives it to Kelly, who runs down the wing, cuts it in. Kane goes for the header, drops for Apai, who's running field, sort of an inside winger, and just smashed it into the top corner. So that'll be a good test to see what's working, what's not working. Followed that up with the 1-0 win against Young As, who are still terrible and still cause us issues, but we beat them. Volendam, I don't know, no, just nothing worked. But since then, it's been pretty straightforward. Just everything's gone right. We're scoring a ton. Sorry for the weird potential cut. My wife came in from walking the dog. I can't really remember what I was saying. But basically, we're bossing it completely so far. So that's good. We've got De Graafschap in the league, not in the league, in the cup today. And they are 3rd in the league at the moment. So they're having a good season as well compared to the last couple. I mean, last season did okay, but to be fair, the one before, they came 2nd. So actually, I've lied completely, and De Graafschap are pretty good. But yeah, it wouldn't be me otherwise, would it? So say hello to an old friend in the tactics screen. It's my weird 4-4-2. It has returned. It's technically a 4-1-1-2-2, but it works as a 4-2-2. Olate does get forward a little bit and play with backboard. So we've got the same instructions on. Player instructions are really similar to what they were with the 4-2-3-1 at the end of last season. But instead we got 2 advanced forwards simply because no one can play any other game apart from Hagenars, who wants to be a target man. And obviously that's not happening. So all I've done on the play instructions here is set the forward on the right, I believe. Let's have a quick look. No, forward on the left, Sean Kelly, which makes sense because there's a bit of a gap behind him to the centre mid or defensive mid to roam from position. So that kind of gets him moving backwards, which is nice. Yeah, you look at some of the average ratings. I mean, Azevedo's score, which impacts his, but everyone's doing really well so far. Defenders are all close to 7s, apart from Azevedo, who's over a 7. Defensive mid 7.06, who's not got any goals or assists. Backboard 7.28, so he's back to his best. Rodrigo Silva is keeping Van der Kust out the side. 8 appearances, 4 goals, 4 assists. It's just, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Ate is starting at the moment, but he won't for long if he carries on his current form. And then Marta and Sean Kelly are just bossing up front. Yeah, it's truly awesome. So I'm going to carry on with that. I learned something really interesting. I mean, this is probably really common knowledge to most people, but obviously I like to play with regens. I prefer playing with... Oh, does backboard have a face now? No. That's devastating. Yeah, I prefer playing with regens just because I do. See if Moose's face has changed. No. But apparently they don't actually develop from game time until they are 18. And I learnt this from... Got to get it right. It was the Grass and Gear podcast one where they're playing Snakes and Ladders. I think they were informed by Cleon or someone like that, someone big in the community. But yeah, they don't actually develop until they're 18 from game time. So a lot of these players who I thought I was neglecting, I mean, Van den Heuvel will still get neglected, but Hagenars, for example, is now a key time for him because now he's 18, he can start to actually develop. I mean, he's almost 19, but you get me. So players that I was playing like Rick van der Linden, who's just turned 17, I thought he was improving from game time, and he played a lot last season, but he's just improving because our facilities are okay, training facilities and all that. I mean, he is awesome anyway, so I want to give him chances. But yeah, I found that really interesting. So I actually found that out after the first game of the season because we got this fellow through our youth intake last season that I didn't show you, Niels de Wart, and he's pretty good. He's got really good potential. He's apparently as good as Francis Faulkner right now, the backup. A star less than Xavier Moose, but more potential, so I did want to play him. He actually played the first game of the season, got a 7, conceded 3, but he didn't really do anything wrong. But yeah, there's no point in playing particularly, especially when we got a better goalkeeper on the cards, on the books, we might as well do that. So that was really informative. But anyway, I digress a bit. We're still on standard, we're on retained possession, shorter passing, exploit in the middle, prevent short goalkeeper distribution. And then, depending on how it's going really early on, I decide to either push or don't push up the pitch. But let's get into it. I'm excited. I might need to change around some of the highlights and stuff like that, so I do apologise. Obviously, I've tested, but I don't really save after test because like, this game is the test. So I'm just going to say, we've gone on a good run. Yeah, I'm delighted. I mean, this new laptop is a lifesaver as well. Wow. Look at it in all its glory. Is TV the right thing to choose? Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of a hiccup. I've just absolutely smashed out dinner. Camera height. I don't know, I quite like camera height being there. Let's see how that looks. Good to see a bit of everything then. I might end up changing it as I'm playing it because I'll probably play in 3D now. So we'll see how that goes. Next time we get a highlight, I'll probably fiddle around with how fast all the highlights are and stuff like that. But yeah, so far this season's so good. It's been a joy. I've been really enjoying it, as you would when you're winning. We've been stuck in this division for 3 seasons. We've got into playoffs in 2 of them, but not ever looked like doing anything. It's a bit far out, isn't it, the camera? And I think I will do it on TV here. If I can I can see the ball. I think that's okay, I just can't really see what my left back's doing. So I might end up going on sideline, but this is probably better viewing. But the Graafschap have a chance down the right. They cross it into the box, and Xavier Moose tips it over the bar. And as much as Xavier Moose had a bit of a wobbly at points last season, he's consistently been one of our better players, I think, like solid. And seeing that in this 3D match engine makes me really happy because you finally get to see some of the great saves that looks like he's pulling off. He is. I don't know how he's only good enough for a 3rd division side in this league. Or nation, should I say. But again, I do think that's hampered by the fact you've got the young teams who are fielding first team regulars sometimes in their sides. In terms of hopes for this season, well, the way we started, and in general anyway, it's promotion. I had no idea the 4-4-2 would work this well. Again, I think it's just the players have finally come into their own at the right time, which is nice. But I want promotion. Ideally, I want a cup run as well. We made a ton of money in the summer from Montgomery, so we got money to spare. Yeah, all going well so far. I'm just going to say I'm happy so far. No one really cares. That was the wrong thing to say because I'm not that happy. But I've not really seen too much of the 3D match engine this season. I know I'm jumping from subject to subject. So it's going to be interesting to see what the issues are with it. Because there always are issues on FM. I mean, we've got 4 players just hanging forwards there. But yeah, you do hear stories about players doing weird things in it still. And I used to swear by the 3D, so I can't remember when it came in. I mean, that was a weird back heel, for example. Great ball over the top for Kelly, though, who's through on goal, and that's a great save by the keeper, in fairness. I think I at least played with Fleetwood on 2012 in 3D. I don't feel like it's really come that far, to be completely honest. There's still so many basic issues with it. They've made it look nicer, but I don't feel like it plays much different. There's still stupid things happening. And having watched a load of Thames FC, for example, Dr. Benji's save, like, and playing a load of 2D because my computer couldn't handle 3D really, especially for recording. I found myself enjoying 2D a lot more. So I'll see how a couple episodes go. If anyone does want to feedback on what they prefer, that'd be great. But I might end up 2Ding it and then going for 3D highlights or something. But we'll see. And so far, we're not really doing much in this game. We are ahead on possession. The spacebar's a bit louder, which is unfortunate on this. But I think the clicker's quieter, so don't know what will go on there. But backboard hasn't shown up so far, so we're going to bring on Bobby McKee, the potential next backboard. He wants to be an advanced playmaker. I'm actually going to say yes to that. Yes, he wants to go further up. I'm not going to let him. Ate has done. My patience is almost over with him, so I'm going to bring on who I think is like the Dutch Gareth Bale. And should we give someone else a run out we don't normally see? Tarun's becoming a bit of right back to give him some experience. I might bring on Ronan Casey for David Birmingham at right back. Keep an Irish feel to it. Oh, was I going to push up? I was going to push up. I do apologise. Let's do that as well, because I think we are the better team here. So this is just a standard thing. You've seen me do it a few times. It's just what I do in general when I think we're the better team is just push up, because we're always going to be quite with balls over the top. It's always nice to see us play out the back these days as well. I feel like that was completely my fault for just never doing player instructions. Silva knocks it down the right for Martha to chase, who crosses it into the box. Kelly is there with a header, puts it into the back of the net. See, like we don't have an OS goal anymore. There's no such thing as an OS goal. We're scoring so many different goals. I still think crossing is overpowered this year. So obviously making the most of it. But yeah, we're just playing really well. And I love it. I love it so much. Kelly just jumps up there, gets away from his man, heads it into the back of the net. It's a great finish. He loves it. Look at him sprinting away with his arms behind his back. Do they have anyone that I'm aware of? No, not really. So far it's been fairly straightforward. Casey throwing on the right now, gives it to McKee in a deep position, plays it over for Olarte. Probably Olarte, I'm going to call him Olarte. Silva on the right back to Casey, so we keep the ball quite nicely. There's a bit of a Spanish thing going on there with the Uruguayan. Well, I say Portuguese as well, he's not Spanish. Deep cross now, finds Apai on the left, who crosses it into the box. Marta is there, drops down for McKee, and there is his first goal for FC Os. And, I mean, what do you say? I don't know what to say. I don't know if I've stumbled. I'm trying not to read too much about tactics. There's a few things that come out on Twitter recently about contain and 4-4-2s, and obviously I was discussing the 4-4-2 last season, where I wanted us to sort of replicate the Newcastle team a bit, which hasn't happened. But if I've stumbled across something that's an absolute match engine breaker, I do apologise, but it's completely natural what I've found and done. This is what I tried to last season and failed. It just seems to be working this year. Silva does his man, low cross, but it doesn't get very far. Yeah, I just love how we're playing. We keep the ball and then we just spring at the right time, so the short passing isn't stopping us from doing that. Silva again beats his man, gets the byline, crosses it in, and there is Marta again. I think that's his first goal, isn't it? Silva, I mean, what do you say? So many players performing above their ability at the moment as well, which is awesome to see. I mean, Silva is definitely bald in his little regen picture, so I'm not sure why he has hair there. I'm not complaining while he's scoring, to be honest. So this is an absolute domination. We've not changed the team around too much. We're bringing on different subs a lot. We're not doing too much in terms of starting. To be honest, if we lock down the first period and then a league title challenge disappears, then I'll end up rotating a lot to give everyone experience. But as it stands, I just want to play our best team. Apai, ball into the box. Marta drops down for McKee on the edge. There's Silva. Looks like he's offside, but he's not. 4-0. I mean, you've never seen us do this, really. I was gutted I didn't bring you the first game of the season after I played it, like a 4-3 where we came back into it in the last few minutes. But this is making up for it. McKee just heads it on for Silva, who looked really offside to me, but finds a near post. And I'm so happy with it. Look at those ratings. Silva has just been an absolute machine this year. He's keeping Van der Kust out of the side. And the way Apai has played, he's only on a 7 now, strangely. I think he's had a really good impact since he's come on. But he is going to keep Ate out of the team soon because Ate is just not doing anything. That's a long ball forward. Can we get anything from it, or is this the end of the game? 30 seconds left. We spread it wide. Looks like this is the end of the game highlight. So, well, we've smashed them. It doesn't matter by how much now. We scored 4. We've absolutely demolished them. We're through to the second round of the Cup. Times are good in FC Os again. Backboard was stripped of the captaincy. Simply because, that was terrible by Moose. That's a shame not to get a clean sheet. But I like clean sheets, but I'm not that bothered. I'd rather just win the games. But he just handed the ball to them there, which is a shame. Means we don't have to pay a clean sheet bonus as well. So yeah, always good. So there it is. On paper, looks very even, but you saw it. We created all the better chances. Very happy with the result and the way you played. No one seems to care that much. What do you say to that? Next up for me is Telstar. I'm going to go to the second round draw though to see who we get. It'd be nice to avoid a huge team this year. Ooh, Azevedo is out for 5 to 6 days. That's a shame because as much as we have signed a few players, you go Silva on form, 8.9. His average rating this season is just dirty. He doesn't look good. He's basically got pace and work rate and teamwork. First touch is alright, which helps. But for whatever reason, he's unstoppable. As much as we signed a load of players in the summer, centre-backs is not somewhere we strengthened especially. So Van Mullum came in on the free, but he's not really a centre-back. In fact, he's 170 centimetres, so he's not at all. Birmingham could probably play centre-back. We can move someone into the right-back, or Max Atkin might come in and get some game time. I'm not sure. I'll figure that out. But that's from me. So I'll quickly jump ahead and hopefully see you at the draw in a second, which has moved somewhere. It was there. I'll find it again. It was tomorrow, but I'll find it. I'll let you know in a second, hopefully. Okay, so we are here for the second round of the draw. I don't know if the licenses have been updated because I've downloaded everything again for this laptop, but I don't think it was called the Toto KMVB Becker previously. Obviously, Toto for me means Africa because my wife has played it on her various iTunes devices about 20,000 times. So yeah, let's get into the draw. Let's have a look. Second round, everyone is in it. So let's just click this quick like and see where we pop out. FC Os at home to Groningen. So we've had them before, haven't we? And we beat them. It was quite easy. Do they have anyone hanging around that I'm aware of? Not particularly. How good's their hot prospect? No better than any of our dudes. I'll give him a cheeky scout though, because his contract's up at the end of the season. We've been scouting a lot too. So I'm not that happy with that because I'm sort of fed up of facing Eredivisie sides. But at the same time, it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot better as well. There's a lot of clubs in there that aren't actual clubs. They've all seemingly been drawn against Eredivisie. Seems somewhat unfair. Maybe it's meant to be like that. Oh no, there's one playing NEC who were in Europe last year. Classic. So yeah, that'll be that then. So let's have a look at the schedule quickly and see what's coming up. So I know it's not far, but considering this Almere City game is the end of period 1, so that could be, in fact, if we look at the league again quickly, obviously we're doing very well, we know that. I'm so great. If we win one of our next 3 games, then we're in with a shout of, or one of our next 2 games, then we can secure a playoff spot in that Almere City game, which would be nice. It also just see us in the league, which would be good. In addition to that, we've then got Groningen coming up, so that'll be a different episode. So we'll play Almere City in the next episode, followed by Groningen, so you can see us progress in the cup a bit. And then I guess it just depends on how we're actually doing in the league. If we've already secured a playoff spot, then it'll just be cup games if we have them. If not, it will just be maybe an update every couple of months or something. I do want to keep content coming out on the channel while I am busy with the other thing. but it is a lot of work. There's going to be a decent amount of editing and actually playing the game, so we'll see how it goes. It's all a lot quicker on this laptop now, which is nice. But yeah, I will see you for the Almere City game. If you've enjoyed that, please do like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and thank you very much for watching.